The silence in the wall. It had been weeks since the incident. That strange feeling, the unsettling silence, still lingered. The house seemed perfect at first. Quiet, unassuming, nestled in a peaceful neighborhood. But something wasn't right. It wasn't the creaks of settling wood or doors mysteriously opening. It wasn't the whispers in the dead of night. No. It was the absence of sound itself. The house felt hollow, like something was missing, like it had once contained something that was no longer there. The noises started subtly, a soft tapping, faint, almost dismissible. You thought it was the house settling, an old structure groaning under its own weight. But as days passed, the tapping turned into dragging. Someone, was moving behind the walls. Then, the scraping began. At night, lying in bed, exhausted, the sound would begin, the soft, persistent scratching. It started as a whisper against the plaster, but soon grew louder, more frantic. It wasn't just one wall, it seemed to come from every corner, every crevice. The house wasn't settling. It was alive. You tried to ignore it, but each night, the noises only intensified. The scratching wasn't random. It was rhythmic, deliberate, as if something was methodically trying to get your attention. And then the whispers started. It was soft at first, so faint it could have been the wind, but soon, it was clear, low, guttural murmurs, words you couldn't understand. A voice, or something trying to sound like one, coming from deep within the walls. One night, unable to sleep, you decided to confront it. You followed the noise through the dark halls, your breath shallow with each step. The sound was louder as you neared the master bedroom. It was coming from the largest wall, the one that separated the room from the attic. You pressed your ear against the cold surface, and for a moment, there was silence. A thick, oppressive quiet. Your heart raced, waiting for the next sound. And then it came. A slow, deliberate scratch, like claws on stone. Your pulse quickened. You stepped back, dazed, trying to make sense of it. The sound shifted. The scratching became dragging, like something heavy was being pulled across the wall. It wasn't random. It was deliberate, like whatever was behind the wall knew you were there. It didn't stop. It never stopped. You tried to convince yourself that it was the house, that old pipes or rodents were making the noise. But deep down, you knew it wasn't that. It was something else. Something waiting, watching. Sleep became impossible. The nights blurred together, each one a repetition of the last. The scratching, the dragging, the whispering. Sometimes, it even sounded like something was trying to claw its way through the wall. And then, just when you thought it might stop, it would grow louder, more frantic. The house felt like a living thing, pulsing, breathing with every sound. You couldn't take it anymore. One evening, you decided to go into the attic. You had never dared before. The door had always been locked, the key lost somewhere. But that night, it was there, small and rusted in the pocket of your coat. You unlocked the door and stepped inside. The air was cold, thick with dust and the scent of something ancient. The beam of your flashlight cut through the dark, revealing forgotten furniture, boxes filled with things that no longer mattered. But there was something else, something that didn't belong. In the corner of the attic, half hidden by old furniture, was a section of the wall. It wasn't like the rest. This part was thinner, almost translucent, and in the center, there was a crack. It ran from the floor to the ceiling, jagged, uneven. A gap. You didn't want to touch it, but something pushed you forward. You reached out, fingers brushing the crack. The instant you made contact, the noise started again. But this time, it wasn't just scratching. The sound was deeper, closer. And then, with a sickening creak, the crack widened. You stumbled back. The wall didn't look like it was opening. It was peeling. The black void that emerged from behind the wall was more than a shadow. It was a presence. Something ancient, something hungry. Your heart hammered in your chest as you realized. It was not the attic. It was something else. The house wasn't hiding an attic. It was hiding something that had been waiting. The air turned cold, the temperature dropping rapidly as the whispering returned. This time, it wasn't just words. It was a voice, deep and guttural, and it felt like it was inside your head. Your breath caught in your throat as you backed away from the opening, but the darkness pulled you in. The whispering grew louder, more frantic, as if it was trying to drag you closer. And then you saw it. A shadow, tall, unnaturally thin, slithered through the crack, inching toward you. It moved fast, too fast, its limbs stretching and contorting like something from a nightmare. Your pulse raced, and your body froze. You knew what it was, but you didn't want to admit it. The thing in the walls wasn't just a sound. It wasn't just a presence. It was a creature, a thing that had been waiting in the dark for years, maybe longer. You turned to flee, but something held you in place. Something inside you told you it was too late. The wall cracked wider, and the void behind it surged forward, pulling the darkness into the room. And then everything went still. The scraping, the dragging, the whispering, all of it stopped. The air grew thick with an unnatural calm. That's when you understood. You weren't meant to be in this house. You weren't meant to hear the noises, or see the shadows. You had disturbed something that had been waiting in the silence of the walls for years. It had been there long before you. And now, it was coming for you. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling experience, don't forget to subscribe to Soul Beat Shadows, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a terrifying update. Stay tuned for more horrors that will leave you trembling long after the story ends.